Welcome to Rob and Tony's Cinematic Adventure. I'm Rob Wilson.
And I am Tony the Guano.
So, Tony, guess what? We have our good friend on the podcast again. We have a guest this episode, and our listeners should be very used to him being on here because this is his third time on this podcast with us.
3 times.
We have the Timinator himself, Tim Robinson.
Hello, gentlemen.
Hello,
glad
Tim.
you can join us tonight.
We're so glad you could be here.
Always a treat when you join us.
Yes, it is. We always have a good discussion with you, Tim.
Kind of like a Reese's Pieces treat or something like that, you know?
Something like that. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I want your peanut butter in my chocolate.
I got to think about that one.
I don't know. But anyway, it's always great to have you here, Tim.
It is. Very much so.
So, Tim, why don't you go ahead and tell these lovely listeners what we are talking about today?
We're talking about the movie Miracle. It's about the 1980 U.S. Olympic hockey team.
And
yes,
is it really surprising
2004.
Yes, from 2004, but is it really surprising that we are having Tim on for a hockey movie?
Right.
No, that'd be like if you guys had like the Pope on for like a Catholic movie or
exactly.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly. If we were watching Conclave, then we would have the Pope on.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Talk about hockey. Tim is the appropriate person to have on.
Yes, Tim
and
is
the Olympics
ultra
are coming up
knowledgeable
in a
about
few
hockey.
Weeks.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, next
so
Friday.
we thought it was appropriate.
Yeah.
Will be the 26th anniversary of the Miracle on Ice, right? From back in 1980.
Mm-hmm.
So, one of the most iconic sporting moments.
Well, the 26th anniversary would be the 46th anniversary.
46, yes, sorry.
Miracle on Ice.
The movie's a little over 20 years old. Yes, 46 years. And one of the most iconic, not just of the 20th century, but, the 21st century as well. Last 100 years. Iconic sporting moments. This is up there.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
One of the greatest upsets of all time.
Yeah. Now, I guess it would be less if you counted it by the Olympics.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Which we can get into. There's moments that they bring in the Olympics, I think, are very appropriate that make me think, oh, yes, this makes me think about the Olympics.
Yeah, but and I don't feel like doing the math to figure out what
we don't
46 years ago would have been an Olympic time. Somebody out there can do the math.
Since they started going every other year, every 2 years, well, it's every 4 years, but they started spacing them between the summer and the winter. Anyway.
But anyway.
So it tells the story of the team, and specifically through the eyes of the coach, Herb Brooks, played by Kurt Russell.
Mm-hmm.
And probably one of my favorite roles of his. He gets noted for some of his action type, roles or his cult films. And this one's a little bit different, but channels some of the same intensity. And so I think it was a fitting role for him.
Yeah, it really was. I thought he did excellent.
He did. Just terrific acting. And and it tells it through his eyes. And, it's what I was thinking about this because this is I think our second movie based on a true story. The first one was Rudy.
And it's another sports movie, too.
Another sports movie, right? And both of them, you could maybe call them biopics. But, it really just focuses on one aspect of the lives of characters.
Yeah.
So it's not the full scope of their lives, right? So it's a particular moment that was crucial for them. So and it's interesting, like, again, 2004, so, I mean, in a couple of years, like, that's basically the halfway point between the two, right? And I remember when the movie came out, just following it and following hockey at that time, and just being really curious to see, how it would turn out. And I thought, it was Kurt Russell, so that'd be at least pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I did not see this one when it came out. I remember when it came out. I remember seeing trailers for it and all that, but I did not see it when it came out. I actually did not see it until I watched it for this podcast.
There you go. It's always good when we watch something for the first time, right?
Yeah.
I think I camped out overnight for it to come out. And,
you probably did.
Yeah, you probably did, Tim.
Jersey on that was on and everything.
You probably did. I would not be at all surprised.
A Disney movie.
But you're probably the only one camped out of that theater that night. But I'm sure you got a great seat.
I did. It was just me and our friend Joey.
But yeah, no, I didn't see it until just the other day when I watched it for the podcast, and I really enjoyed it.
It's a very enjoyable movie.
Yeah. It really is.
It's inspirational, but it's not quite necessarily always by the book.
Yeah.
In terms of kind of some of these stories.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't try to shove the inspiration down your throat.
It doesn't.
Some of movies like this, some of these things just try to be way too inspirational and way too, gung ho about the storyline and just try to ram it all down your throat and force feed you this happy, shiny, interactions between these characters. But no, this one actually does a really good job of keeping it real.
Yeah, it's just it was a difficult road, right? Wasn't always sunshine and roses getting to that point, and I think it feels like they stayed true to the characters. They want to make sure they stayed true to that. They really hit the era really well too, right? This is early 1980, and a good part of the movie also takes place like the late 1979 as they train towards the Olympics. And I think it fits its time period well, and it's an earned inspiration.
Yeah,
you're cheering by the end of it.
Yeah, absolutely, it does. And I remember them saying when they were making it, and it was like when the DVD came out. If you have the DVD, there's another part of the DVD where you can see how it was made and everything. And instead of getting actors and teaching them how to play hockey, they trained hockey players. How to act.
Yes.
Because they needed the level of play for all the plays, the goals, and all that to be.
The hockey scenes are really well done because of that.
Yeah. Which actually, while I was watching it, I was thinking about that because it's like. This movie, like really any sports movie, especially ones that have actors that they teach how to play whatever sport it is. They have to, when they're actually showing the games in the movie, they've got to be believable. And something like hockey where, you're on the ice, you're skating on the ice, you're not just running down a field. You really have to show that you know what you're doing.
Yes.
No knuckle pucks in this movie.
No. And on that particular topic, I was also reading with that is that they got the equipment that would have been appropriate for 1980 as opposed to 2004, which was stuff that was very different for them to actually skate with. So it took them some time to get used to adapt to that equipment. There is one exception on this, and see, who plays the goaltender, Jim Craig, was an actor.
Yeah, Eddie Cahill.
He's done stuff since then.
He played tag in Friends.
The goalie they got to play his on ice scenes for most of them was Bill Ranford,
former Washington Capital, by the way.
That's right. Goalie in the 90s and early 2000s. But so he was. They thought it was be a little bit easier for those scenes to just put an actual goalie behind the mask. Yeah. Right. And
it makes sense.
Get some of those. That's a lot. That's to make sure that it goes the way you need it to go. So, and he's one of the more featured characters within the movie. It's probably about a handful, about half dozen other players they really kind of focus on a little bit more. But it's not like they ignore the other characters either.
But he's more or less the Charlie Conway of this movie.
Yeah, I like that. Yep. Except, Kurt Russell is not trying to bang his dad.
No, he's not. Kurt Russell's a happily married man in this movie.
Yes, it's Patricia Clarkson. Yeah, there's not a lot, in this movie. There's not a lot of any particular characters trying to bang other ones, right? So
no.
There's a little bit of talk of dates and stuff like that, but that's mostly it's a PG rated movie, so
yeah,
it gives you that sense. But the other actors that's in this though is Noah Emmerich, which I don't think we've done a movie with him before, have we?
I don't think we have.
At the time, I would think of him being in Frequency.
Yeah.
Around the time this came out.
Yeah, no, that's a movie we've talked about doing, but we haven't done it yet on the podcast.
Super 8, Warrior, Little Children, Cellular, Wind Talkers, The Truman Show,
He was in Walking Dead.
But so this is our first time actually featuring him in one of our movies. So. And he plays the assistant coach.
Yeah, Craig Patrick.
Who would become very famous in his own right, have a very successful career as an NHL executive. So,
yep, the Stanley Cup champion as general manager for the Pittsburgh Penguins, I believe, for a while.
Yes, there's a few other guys like they use the actual footage like Al Michaels and Jim McKay and Ken Dryden, right?
Yes.
So I think they do a good job of weaving that into the movie. There's a couple of other actors in here that Don S. Davis, who we've talked about before.
Yep.
Michael Kopsa, Malcolm Stewart, Bill Mondi also. So some, you may be more familiar with some of these names than the others. You have Kenneth Welsh playing Doc Nagobads. I love that. I love the last name. They just call him Doc in the movie.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But, and then...
you never hear his last name in the movie.
No, you don't. And then Sean McCann is probably the other most notable actor of the... kind of the executive board of U.S.A. Hockey.
Yeah, playing Walter Bush.
Overseeing all of it, right? And a lot of you probably know him from Tommy Boy.
Yeah, I was going to say, every time I see him, I think of Tommy Boy.
Yeah, same with me.
Yeah.
Same with me. First time I ever saw the movie, I was like, oh my God, Tommy Boy!
But it's funny, though, some of the hockey players, though, would go on to do other small roles within movies. Others kind of continue their hockey playing and whatnot. So.
And one in particular would you would think that beating the Russians in the 1980 Winter Olympics would be the highlight of his career. But no, one in particular just recently celebrated the highlight of his career when he spoke to our very own Timinator.
That's right.
On his radio show.
Good old Robbie McClanahan, number 24. And he has a very powerful scene. Well, in my opinion, it's a powerful scene. With where it's during the first game, they're playing Sweden, and he gets hurt during the game, gets a bruise on his leg, and Herb Brooks comes in and challenges him, and this actually happened. We're talking to Rob, and he had a bad bruise on his leg. The doctor told him he couldn't play, and Herb Brooks came in and basically told him, like, if you're going to quit, I don't need you playing. And Rob got up and got in his face and was like, you want me to play? I'm going to play then. I'm going to play then. And wound up playing, even though he was hurt, could barely skate, and wound up actually playing a pretty good game. So
yeah, it's a good scene, and it's Brooks, is asking the docs like, well, okay, so he's hurt, but like, could he hurt himself more? And then when he's told like, well, no, but it's almost impossible to play.
He actually said it was painful to play on it.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we'll get to that scene a little bit. But yeah, it's a terrific scene. I would also be remiss, though, that this movie has the greatest set of eyebrows ever committed to film.
There are some very good eyebrows in this movie. I mean, we talk about mustaches a lot, but one bit of facial hair that's often overlooked is eyebrows. And this movie does have some great eyebrows.
The Russian coach, Viktor Tikhonov, played by his aide, Memesivic, how he gets things like these ones that curl up and just be spiky.
Yeah,
I don't know, but like it's part of his like this intimidation factor with him. It's like I'm going to stare at you with these eyebrows, and they're going to just poop your pants.
Yeah.
And by the way, how tall is he? Like in the movie, he looked like he was like 3'2" or something like that.
Good question. By the way, he was also in a movie that we have not done that I don't think we would do, but in 2012, he plays the president in that movie.
Really?
The Roland Emmerich disaster classic. So, not a lot of film credits for him, but I really enjoyed his eyebrows.
Yes.
So,
yes, very much so. And
I'm looking forward to some of the other little insights as we talk about the movie that McClanahan passed on to you, Tim. So
yeah, me too. And in addition to wonderful eyebrows, we also had something that we haven't talked really a whole lot about in a little while in several episodes. We had some great hats in this movie.
Oh yes, we do have some great hats in this movie.
We had some great hats. There were some fuzzy fezzes.
Yes. It's a movie that takes place at the Winter Olympics. There better be some good damn hats. Yeah. I'm glad he brought that up. Like that was a whole stretch last year where it was just hat after hat after hat that was just glorious.
Yeah. And we haven't mentioned hats in an episode in a while. And
yeah.
I was watching this movie, and when they were showing the crowds outside the stadium and all that, and all the hats, and I'm like, there are some really interesting hats in this movie.
Oh yes, it makes me wonder, like I want to go back to early 1980 and like just enjoy the headwear.
Yeah.
Just people watch all the headwear.
Steal a few of them, like Marv and Home Alone 2. Right?
Yep.
The sticky bandit, Tony.
That's right.
Well, yeah, that's right. And Home Alone 2 is the sticky bandits. Home Alone 1 is the wet bandits.
The sticky bandits, yes, it's wet bandits in Home Alone 1. They switched the MO. So at least Marv did.
Yeah.
Harry was not as concerned about MOs, but
no.
Or calling cards.
Harry just wanted to murder a child.
Yes. Yes.
And that, folks, is illegal.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
It's very much illegal to murder a child.
If you're thinking about it, we highly recommend
not
that
doing
you reconsider.
Yes. We highly recommend that you reconsider. Not only because, you'll spend the rest of your life in prison, if not, be put to death, but just because it's not a good thing to do. It's really not.
And typically the kitty murderers, they're not thought well in prison.
No, they're not.
So, yeah.
So anyway, enough talk about child murder.
I don't know. I have a whole lot else to say before we just jump into it.
I don't think I do either. What about you, Tim? Anything else you want to say before we get into it? All right. As always, spoiler alert, we're going to be talking about this entire movie, beginning, middle, and end. So if you have not seen it and you don't want to be spoiled, pause the podcast, watch the movie, and come back and listen. If you have seen it or you just don't mind being spoiled, keep on listening. But you have been warned. We will be spoiling this movie that came out 22 years ago and is about something that happened 46 years ago. So, yeah.
I want to add on to that, since we're talking about the realism of it. Like, it's like, you know the result of what happens, and yet you still really get like sucked into the action and the climax.
Yes, you do. It's still a nail biter, even though you know what's going to happen.
So, kudos to the acting and direction to really pull that off.
Yeah.
But yes, I liked how this movie starts. Like, this is, I think, my third time seeing it. I saw it in theaters and then once on DVD after it came out, and just recently. And it's, they're going through major events of the 1970s.
Yeah, it's basically just like a timeline during the credits.
Yep.
Just showing clips here and there.
A lot of it is kind of more of like the negative things that happened, right? They're not getting into a lot of positives or even pop culture. The one pop culture reference they get in is Coneheads.
Yeah.
But we'll see why they include that later.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the rest, are U.S. men losing the 72 gold medal to the Soviet Union, right? Gas lines, Watergate, 3 Mile Island.
Wait, those are all bad things?
They have some different like tech breakthroughs. They talk about the microchip, but yeah, it just all leads up to, they're showing the years going by, and then the years kind of switch the font to letters, and this ends with this miracle, right? I think it's a nice way of selling like kind of what was happening in the country at that time. They'll, even sell the importance of this game even better. And so then after that, it cuts to the U.S. hockey office in Colorado, and you just have Kurt Russell there. He's just got aboard there, and he's thinking about plays, and he's waiting. He's in this little waiting area, and then finally, they call him back, right? And he's in his interview for the head coaching job for the men's hockey team.
Yeah, so he's just sitting there, and he's thinking about this trip he's going to be taking to New York in a few years, even though it's a walled-in prison now.
He's got to train himself to be really badass.
Yeah, because he's got to go take on Isaac Hayes.
Yes, and his Cadillac with chandeliers.
Yes, and it cannot be stated enough that there is no more badass ride for a villain than a Cadillac with chandeliers.
Yes, I agree. So you can listen to our Escape from New York episode. We did that back in September. So fun episode that was.
Yeah. But anyway, he's getting ready for his interview.
Right. And there's about half a dozen guys there, and he's kind of talking about his vision. And, a lot of it's just him saying, like, yeah, we got to change our approach to keep up with the Russians. Right. Like, they're going to be far more talented than any team we can put on here. So we got to change our approach of how we attack them. Right. We got to be better conditioned, and we're doing this and this.
Mm-hmm.
And
I mean,
you can tell, like, there's quite a few skeptics in there that he can do what he wants to do in such a short amount of time.
And
they're sold on him, but not his timeline necessarily.
Then the whole importance of, beating the Russians it doesn't just have to do with hockey here. It's yes, they've got like the best hockey team in the world, but also this is like the heart of the Cold War.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
it is. It's still very strong and very much kind of this simmering there, and just you never know what might happen.
Yeah. So I mean, it extends beyond hockey.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, if they can land a victory against them in hockey, then, it means more to America beating Russia in hockey.
Morale booster
than if Russia were to beat America. And they're just because of the whole Cold War aspect of it.
And the other thing you need to remember about this is, at that time, because it was the Soviet Union, all their best players stayed in Russia, playing for the national hockey team. And none of them came over to the NHL, right? So largely, when they're playing other teams, especially the U.S. team, which is mostly, college seniors or recent college graduates, right? You're talking about a huge disparity in experience there as well.
Yeah.
Which is part of what, why this was also so monumental, right? It's like, it's this huge task just because they literally are like guys that are experienced professional hockey players that play together, some of them for over 10 years.
Yeah, for many years.
Who, if they went to the NHL, like would be, one of the top, maybe the top player, one of the top players in the NHL.
Yeah.
So, as opposed to mostly college students, right?
Yeah.
Who from different states who never met before, getting on the team together and have to learn how to play with each other.
Little rivalries that kind of blossomed up during college, right? And so, like,
Minnesota and what was it?
Boston? Was it?
Yeah, Boston, Minnesota. Yeah.
So, it highlights that and does a good job of demonstrating that. And, and most of these guys aren't fully convinced that he can do it. But he's like, well, we got to try to do this. Like, it's worth doing. Right? So he gets home. So at the time, he is the head coach of the Minnesota hockey team. Right? The University of Minnesota hockey team, which is one of the premier hockey programs in the country. Right? And he's recently won a national championship. So he's a well-respected coach, right? He gets home to Minnesota in St. Paul. Right? He's there. He sees his wife, played by Patricia Clarkson. And he's like, oh, yeah, no, I don't think I got the job. Like, they're looking for someone different. Like, the only reason they called me is because two of the guys, already told them no. Right? And then he realizes that there's he sees these costumes. His wife is playing a costume party. And he doesn't really want to be part of a costume party, right?
Nope.
So he ends up playing in the basement some hockey, right? With his son.
Like the old bubble hockey or whatever.
Bubble hockey, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Those are classic. But, during this was a phone call, right? And his wife asked one of her friends to answer it, right? And then the person's like, oh, yeah, it's someone from the U.S.A, right? And so she knows that's for Herb, right? And so he gets it, and he talks, and we find out he got the job.
He got the job.
Yay!
Of course
Herb.
he got the job. He's Kurt Russell.
Exactly.
If Kurt Russell doesn't get the job, then
it's not Russell Brand.
No.
Russell Brand is like, okay, he's not getting the head hockey coach.
No.
Kurt Russell, though, you can believe it.
When you're the star of the movie, you better get the job.
And little side note, Kurt Russell was actually excited for the role because his kids actually play hockey.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't think I knew that.
Well, now you do.
So so he gets together and he has to head out to the tryouts in Colorado, right? And he calls Craig Patrick, as you mentioned earlier, is played by Noah Everett, to be his assistant coach, right? And we're getting you get this whole shot of different guys, signing in, saying their names, getting their names checked off the list. See a few that know each other from either being on the same team or playing against each other often, right? And it kind of goes through all of them before they really just start their tryouts on the ice. And there's one in particular, some of these guys that we saw earlier, looking at Mike Eruzione, Oh, yeah, no, there's no way he's going to make this team. Cross him off the list. Right? So, it kind of continues on with his tryouts, and then Herb is just sitting up in like the press box, right? And he can get a good view, but he's actually already decided his team. He knows the guys he wants already, right? And Patrick comes in and he gives him the list like these 26 guys. You gotta get down to 20 by February. and, and he's like, "Wait, aren't some of these other guys supposed to have a say in this?" Like, I guess technically yes, but these are the guys I want. I'm the coach. I get to say what I want, right? So, and Patrick's like, okay. Right? And then it cuts, all the guys are done. They're sitting on the bleachers, the stands, and, Coach Patrick is there just calling off the names of everybody that has made it on. Right?
Mm-hmm. Now, what kind of surprised me about this, I mean, I'm not as well versed in hockey as you guys are. I mean, I enjoy hockey, but I don't know near as much as you guys do, especially you, Tim. But Tim is... I did not realize that they only had 7 months to train before the Olympics.
Yes.
I thought that they would have had a little bit more time than that.
Yeah, no, short window.
So it's even more impressive that they...
it is. No, absolutely.
Yeah, that they went on
to actually, if you think about it,
beat the Russians.
Nowadays, and that's one of the things when I did my interview with Rob McClanahan, he was saying nowadays it's so hard to predict in today's Olympics that who's going to win because they only have a few weeks to come together as a team. They had 7 months to come together as a team, which is a lot better than like 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Right, because they mentioned this at the end of the movie. Now it's all like NHL players playing.
Yeah, they put together dream teams.
So most of them play on other teams, right? They're not necessarily used to playing with each other, right? Like any sport, you grow a certain rapport about the guys that you're practicing with day in and day out and playing with. And then, I forgot. There's one line in there where before Herb kind of leaves, Patrick's looking at the list. And he's like, "You got Jim Craig to back up Janicek?" It's like, no, it's the other way around. It's the other way around. Like, didn't he just help you win a national championship? It's like, hey, yeah, he's a good goalie, but we're not playing for the national championship. We're playing for the gold medal. I need the best. I need the best team that I believe, right? So,
yeah, you don't doubt Kurt Russell.
Don't doubt Kurt Russell.
No.
Right. So after they go through the list, do it. Kurt Russell appears. Like, take a good look, gentlemen, as everyone else is walking off. They're getting off easy. Right? A few are going reserve in case someone gets injured. The game goes to hell. Right? The final roster will have 20 names on it. So more of you will actually go home too. It's like, if you give your best, you'll make my job very easy. It's like, I'll be a coach, not your friend, right? Coach Patrick, Doc, they can be your friend. Right? Congratulations. That's it. Then he's like, on the way out, pick up one of these. Got a little bit of homework for you. Right? So they're all excited. And then we cut to like a bar where some of them are celebrating and they're doing their homework.
Yeah.
Which is basically a questionnaire.
Yep.
Like 300 questions.
Yes. So did McClanahan talk about this? Did he really have them do a questionnaire?
Yes, they had to do a questionnaire.
All right. Interesting.
What kind of questions were it?
Basically it was to see, like, kind of get in their minds a little bit, see how far he could push them.
So like a psych evaluation?
Yeah, basically to see how far he can push his players before they break. Yeah.
Nice.
He's Kurt Russell. He knows how to do CIA shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he plays a lot of mind games with these guys throughout the movie.
Yes, he does.
Right? Oh, yeah, on the way out, before we see us in the bar, like, one of the other guys is like talking like, Kurt, like, there's a room full of guys that want another say with the roster. Like, no, this is my roster. I've talked with these guys' coaches. I know that they have, what it needs to win. Like, I trust their coaches and I trust their skill. I trust myself. Right. And so, yeah, they're at the bar and they're kind of talking about things and talking about some of these little rivalries that they've had, including from Jack O'Callahan, who will be mostly nicknamed OC in this movie. Right. And he's on Boston and he's upset about some guy that he thought gave him like a cheap shot.
Robbie McClanahan.
Yes. In I guess the national championship or a semifinal game, some large game.
Yeah, it was a national championship game. Yep.
Okay. Did he talk about that?
Yes, he did.
What did he say about that?
He doesn't think it was a cheap shot. He kind of went for a hip check and got him and got his knee a little bit.
Okay. Hey, yeah. In big games like that, emotions can easily run wild. So.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yep. And so, Ruzioni, he's trying to settle things down. Right. As you can see later, he'll become the captain. He's the one that's kind of level head about a lot of things. Right. And so they kind of continue on, and then it cuts, right, and we get a scene with Kurt Russell showing up at Craig's room. It's like, why didn't you take the test? And just like, well, he's scratching his head. He's like, I don't really see what it has to do, with hockey. What's it going to do? He's like, but do you want me to take the test? He's like, oh, no, you just did. Right. So, Herb goes to Lee, but, he follows him out. And they have a little bit of conversation. He's like, oh, yeah, I mean, ask you, like, I know your mom died recently. Like, how you doing? How are you doing? How's your dad doing? Right. So they have this conversation. And that's one of the big threads they'll have in this is that Craig's mom passed away recently. Right. And it's been hard on his dad. Right. And so his dad will show up at various points throughout the movie.
Yep.
And so, it cuts in there, and now it's just them starting to practice. Right? And he goes through some of the drills that they're going to do. Like, this is going to be a tough drill, but we're going to be the best conditioned team. Right? And then, we start seeing some do certain plays and other things going around. And then at some point, OC decides, well, you know what? I'm going to get back on McClanahan. So he kind of does a dirty hit on him in the middle of the ice.
Crushed him.
Yes.
He was doing a breakout drill. He crushed him, and then they wound up fighting, and coach lets him fight and said, like, let them fight. And they fought.
Mm-hmm. He wants them to get out of their system. And it's like, is this, it's like, all right, this needs to stop now because we're a team. Like, bury your grievances with each other. Right?
Yeah.
And like, then he starts asking around, like, different guys, like, okay, what's your name? Who do you play for? Where are you from? Right? You're like, okay, well, I play here for you at the U, from St. Paul, from University of North Dakota, Boston, Massachusetts, right? And then, one guy's like, I'm from wherever is not going to get me hit.
Ralph Cox.
Ralph Cox
was not going to get me hit. Yep, I love that line.
Sporting a very classic late 70s mustache.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yes. Yep.
So they finish the drills up, and then what goes on from there? I guess maybe I misplaced. This might have been the scene. This might have been the scene now where he confronts Greg about the test and throws it away. But anyway, that doesn't matter. We talked about that. So right, and then we get a scene. That's right. It's a scene. We get certain scenes where we get kind of news broadcasts of different things that are happening around the world. Right. There's one, like you're seeing the scene where there's a gas line shortage, right? And then about the Soviets performing a nuclear test in Kazakhstan, right? And it's just, Patrick and the doc are just having a conversation about, so much hate and fear, oh yeah, they have weapons, we have weapons. This could end in a disaster, right? So we get little players like that going through, right? And then finally he's like, Herb for a long time, right? Like, this is Patrick speaking to the doc. It's like, does he always treat his players like this? Like, no, not like this. But believe me here, Craig, Herb has a reason for everything he does.
Yeah.
Which we will see.
Which was so true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that's something we had mentioned before. It was the Doc has worked with Herb for a long time.
Long time. They're, old work buddies or friends. They trust each other, right? Patrick Cole, they're going to hate him. He's like, they hate him. They can't hate each other, right?
I mean, it makes sense.
It does. So here we cut to a scene. We're back at Herb's house, and he's watching video on the Soviet team.
Mm-hmm.
And his wife's a little bit annoyed at him because he's been spending all this time watching video.
All you're doing is watching hockey. Why don't you take a break from that?
Pick up the kids. Like, I can't be in two places at once.
Why did this sound familiar?
So she kind of storms out of his little office. He's like, he tries to continue to watch, but he realizes, I can't continue to watch. I need to go to my wife.
It's like,
smart man.
I don't want to screw up my marriage by constantly watching hockey.
Right.
Oh my God.
And when she's been supportive of him, like, she's just saying, like, he never asked, how this would affect everything and if I'd be okay with how much it would affect everything.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so she goes to bed. Things aren't still fully resolved, but he goes back. He tries to watch some more tape, but he can't. And so we see him pull out something from his desk. And it's a picture of the 1960 U.S. Olympic hockey team, which was the last team to win gold before 1980.
Mm-hmm.
And we see his name listed. Right? Now, what hasn't told us yet is that he never made the final roster. He was the last cut. Right? And so you kind of get this insight into kind of some of where he's coming from.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He's trying to achieve something that he missed out on 20 years ago.
That he just barely missed out on.
Like, I can teach these kids that, there's something really important that you can do with your lives. Like, I had to be committed to this. Right? But yeah, he just barely missed out on it. And then, like, he kind of talks about earlier with that conversation, like, ever since I stopped playing hockey, I wanted to coach this team, the men's Olympic hockey team. I wanted to coach this team.
And this year, right, the Winter Olympics are going to be held at Lake Placid in New York.
Yes, in Lake Placid. So, it's also on home soil, right? I think that's also a key factor with everything, too.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Right? So it cuts back to the practice, and they're doing this drill that they keep doing every day. This is to condition them. Right?
But it never mentions a giant alligator.
No. There's also no Betty White or Bill Pullman.
Yeah. But they might still be there. They just weren't shown on screen.
It was winter. Like, they might just be like hibernating.
Yeah.
Like, it's cold. Yeah. I'm cold-blooded. Screw this.
It's possible.
Right? And so it tells them we're going to be the best conditioned team. Be prepared to grow through pain, gentlemen. You're going to skate harder than you've skated in your lives. Every minute of every day you're on the ice. Right? And they're just going through this drill, and you can see, like, they're tired. And this is montage. Like, them all huddled around the boards, and he's drawing up plays on the boards, and they're kind of confused about what play he's trying to draw up. Right? It's like, what's he talking about?
Yeah, what is that? Yeah.
Like, I have no idea. Right? And they cut in scenes also of other players then saying where they're from and what university they play for. Right? Got Mark Johnson, Madison, Wisconsin, University of Wisconsin. Right? And he just he keeps pushing them. Like, the fastest way to make this team is to be fast. Right?
Yeah, because he's still got more people to cut before he gets to his 20.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The scene where Ruzioni makes a mistake during a drill. He's like, come on, come like Ruzi. Like, no, like, you can run the bench. We keep that up. Like, I got 20 guys to put on this team. Keep going. Right? Right? And he talks about, okay, well, this is one play. We get 4 options. And now you can see they're starting to understand his schemes a little bit better. they're getting inside the coach's head a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We talk about Mark Pavelich, right? And then we get this nice shot of these three guys that perform this really nice play on the ice, and they could tell they've been working on something together, and they feel comfortable, even though they're not even teammates in college.
Mm-hmm.
You get this look from her that that's impressive.
Yeah. It's like, they might actually become a team.
So cuts to his office.
This actually worked. Yeah.
Patrick comes in. He's like, hey, yeah, the Conehead line wants to come in and talk to you. It's like, who? The Coneheads, Dan Aykroyd, Jane Curtin. Yeah, he's just staring at him.
The radar.
Yeah. Hey, he's a busy man. He's watching tape on Saturday Night Live. He's not watching Saturday Night Live.
I mean, at this point, this is 1979. Saturday Night Live had only been around for 4 years at this point.
Yes. Mm-hmm. But so the three of them come in, right? And he just tells them, like, yeah, you know what? I'm thinking of keeping you on a line together. Like, and they talk about, like, oh, yeah, we just feel very comfortable with each other. And, yeah, we like playing with each other. It's just that feel that we have.
Yeah.
And this is Buzz Schneider, John Harrington, and Mark Pavelich. And a nice little tidbit from this. The player that plays Buzz in the movie is his real life son, Billy.
I was actually just going to mention that, Tony. Well played. Well said.
So I like that little
it's always
nod
nice
in there, tidbit. It's a really nice call.
And Billy is apparently really good.
What was that?
And Billy is apparently really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, he was good in the movie.
He was good in the movie.
If that shows, anything about how he is in real life, then I would imagine he's good.
Yeah.
But you can tell, he likes the attitude. Pass, shoot, and score is what they tell him, right? It's like, well, all right, they're going to be on the same line.
Did they do the Norway game next?
Yeah,
and I was like, that's what's next, yes. And they're like, oh, yeah. Because Patrick's like, I guess we're taking a line of Coneheads to Europe. It's like, okay, we'll see you next week. And so they have this friendly match with Norway over in Norway.
Mm-hmm.
What's interesting, you can kind of tell most of the hockey arenas they play in are really the same one, right? Save for a few of them. But I'm saying they play Norway, and Norway should be a matchup that's not super difficult for them, but they're struggling, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's their first game together.
Yes. And a few of them are far more interested in looking for pretty Norwegian girls in the stands. And Herb hears this, and you can tell, he's chewing his gum, and, if he had, a hatchet, there's a good chance that he'd probably embed it into one of the skulls. He's ready to go ballistic on these guys.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they're potentially ruining their chances of getting into the Olympics, of actually making it to play the Russians.
Yes. Right? And so they end up, they lose or they tie?
They tied.
They tied the Norway game.
Yeah, the Norwegian national team.
Yes. 3-3 or something to that effect. And
yeah.
Herb is not happy.
No.
They barely tied.
Yes. They're lucky they tied.
Yes.
Right? And then he tells Patrick to get your whistle, meet them as they're coming off the ice. Right? And they're ready to get to the locker room. They've had a long game, right?
They're done.
They're done. It's like, well, why? What's for? Well, I guess you'll find out in a minute. The coach wants to see you. Right? And so then he lines them up on one of the blue lines. Right? I love how he's like, that one. He's very emphatic about which one it is.
Yep. What of the far one?
It's like, you don't want to work during the game? Fine. They're going to work now. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And they start doing their conditioning drill, right? Patrick keeps blowing the whistle. They finish it. They get back. He has them blow it again and again. and again.
And again.
And one of the guys that's at, one of the leaders, they're like, he came in to see the game. He's like, oh, like Herb's keeping these kids after, and he's like riding them hard, right? And it gets to the point where Doc comes up to Herb. He's like, the rink manager, like he says, like he wants to close and go home and cut the ice. He's like, tell him to leave me the keys and I'll lock up. And so it keeps going and it keeps going. And now even Patrick is getting like, all right, this is getting kind of intense.
And they turn the lights off.
Then the rink manager just turns the lights off and they just keep, like, they think they're done. He's like, no, again.
Mm-hmm.
You're sustained. Yep. And talking with Rob McClanahan during that interview, that actually happened. The rink manager turned the lights off and they skated in the dark for an hour and a half. And what they don't show in the movie, two of the players had actually gotten ejected during that game against Norway, and we're going to go skate with the team on the ice. But the assistant coach, Patrick, told them, don't worry about it, which kind of showed how they were coming together as a team finally around that point.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's such a terrific scene. And I like that you had this other little backstory to it. Like you can imagine these guys on the ice that, they win the gold medal several months later, but like this particular moment just be etched into their minds.
Yep. And for me, that's one of the most powerful scenes in movies that I had seen in a while.
Yes.
That, like, it really shows you how, like, they came together as a team, and even the players were saying when they were making the movie, it brought them together too.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
And like, I can imagine, like, some of these guys in a few years when they're like 80 something, they're gonna wake up with dreams of whistles. Like, I've seen some shit.
You're gonna start having flashbacks. PTSD from hockey practice.
There's helicopters just going through the ice arena, just blowing a giant whistle. So, but they just start saying, like, the name on the front of the jersey is far more important than the one on the back, right? And we're getting to this point where, like, Patrick now really is not going to blow the whistle. And then you can tell he's going to do it. But then Ruzioni decides to step up. And he says, Micah Ruzioni, it says where he's from, the United States of America. Herb asked him, who do you play for?
Mm-hmm.
And then he responds, United States of America.
Yeah.
And then Herb's like, that's it, gentlemen. Good night. They all just kind of collapse.
Die on the ice.
I really, really want to know how bad their bag smelled after this one.
Oh, horrible. I bet.
I mean, hockey gear doesn't smell that great in general. I mean, Tony's probably been in my car with my gear in the car and has probably wanted to puke himself. So, yeah.
I was working up a good sweat today, like shoveling and breaking up ice.
I mean,
I could tell, like, this shirt's smelling a little bit. And I'm thinking, like, oh, yeah, what about
if it's
U.S.A.
anything, how like my sparring gear smelled after a little while, I could imagine how bad how bad it could be. Yeah.
And yeah, I'm sure they bunch of them had a good dose of ibuprofen when they got home too. Even though they're only like 21 years old, like, yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, they were doing drills for hours and hours.
I mean, they played a game. It's 20-minute periods, right? It's about 2.5 hour game, right? And then another hour and a half after that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Not to mention all the pre-skate warm-ups that they're doing too, right?
They were on that ice for hours.
And one of the things he talks about with them is, like, you can't be common. You have to be uncommon, right? That's how you're going to win.
Common's the only one that can be common.
Yes. We've done a Common movie.
Yes, we have. John Wick Chapter 2.
That's right. Right. And so they're done. they go back to the U.S. and they're flying this really beat up plane that hit a cow.
No, it hit a moose.
Hit a moose. Hit a moose. The moose is fine.
They hit a moose.
I love the line. I love that line.
It's like the moose is fine. He got off and ran off. Ran off into the woods.
You can tell she's like, "Are you sure he's fine?" He's like, "Yeah, I assume so." He ran off. I like when he first says, "He's like, we kind of hit a moose."
We kind of hit a moose.
How do you kind of hit a moose? Like, trust me, if I hit a moose, I'd know.
But, you know, again, when you're in Minnesota, Maine, North Dakota, Wisconsin, Washington, Alaska, you know, the moose are much more common.
Yeah.
Virginia and Kansas, not so much.
Not so much.
No, same thing. All I can think about when I hear that scene, when he says we hit a moose, all I can think about is the old Pep Boys commercial with the moose. Is like, you get them breaks of Pep Boys? Yeah, I appreciate it.
I mean, it's a plane hitting a moose. It's much of it than if you're driving a compact car and you hit a moose.
Yeah.
Moose wins that one.
If you're a moose and you get hit by a plane, that's your day to go, dude.
Yeah, if you're in a car and you hit a moose, I mean, there's a good chance you could die. And that moose will be just fine.
Win. I would win.
I mean, yeah.
Right.
Moose are big creatures.
Yes, they are. Noble, big creatures. So, but yeah, so they have then they talk about on this TV broadcast while they're waiting to take off. And the Soviets have played the NHL All-Stars, and they wiped the floor with them. Right?
It did not go well.
Like, and again, like, it's like, all right. And they're talking about, like, oh, yeah, the passing was crisp, offense relentless, conditioning superb. Right? And it's like, this was an embarrassing evening for the NHL All-Stars. Right? And so we cut from there, and it shows a scene where Herb is showing tape of the Soviets to the team.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You know, he's like, yeah, they're constantly moving. They're fluid and they're creative. Right? They're just always looking for some patch of ice to be opened. Right? And then someone's like, did these guys ever smile? I'm like, they're Russian. They get shot if they smile. And then they show the goalie. He's like, Vladislav Tretiak. Like, you score on him, keep that puck. That's a souvenir. Congratulations. Yeah. He's like, it doesn't happen often. He's like, yeah. And he's like, yeah, this is a team that goes into every game knowing they're going to win. And so do their opponents. They psych them out.
Mm-hmm. I mean, even the coach's eyebrows get on the ice and they've skated around a little bit during a game.
They do. Yes. There's some intimidating eyebrows.
Yeah.
Damn. It's like, I can give you a load of crap that you're a better team than they are, but no, like, that's what it would be. It'd be crap. Like, you're not more talented.
There's no way that I can grow eyebrows like him.
No, there's no way I could grow those eyebrows either.
And I'm Kurt Russell, and I can't grow those eyebrows.
He's like, but I think we can stay with these guys. We got to take their game and shove it in their face. So the team that's willing to do that is a team that can win.
You don't defend them, you attack them.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then we get through another montage where they're just conditioning, they're practicing, they're going through all these different drills. We see some guys' names getting taken off the lockers that have been cut from the 26. Right? We have a scene where Patrick is training with Craig. Right, they're getting like a squash ball, tennis ball, and they get down a corridor or hallway, and he just throws it.
He's throwing it. He's got to catch it
with his bare hand.
Yeah, from all different angles because he just He's throwing it at different places.
And that is actually a drill or a way that a lot of goalies practice, like using the glove hand, the blocker, all that.
It's a good drill because, like, you know, you don't know what bounce the puck might take.
Exactly.
It's because the guy is shooting it from one angle, like, there's deflections, right? There's bounce, you know, maybe it bounces off you, there's a rebound, and someone puts it in. They got to be quick and ready. And so, yeah, I could see why that drill would be a very critical drill that they would do.
And I mean, if you can catch the tennis ball with your bare hand, your glove is bigger than your bare hand. So if you can catch it with something as small as your hand, then you have a better chance of catching it with a glove.
That's right. So there's also another thing that's been kind of percolating under this a little bit is that, so the 1980 Summer Games are supposed to be in Moscow, right? And Jimmy Carter is the president at the time, and he's considering boycotting the games, right? And some of the U.S. Committee members are concerned if that happens, then the Soviets won't come to Lake Placid, right?
And then we won't have have our game against them.
Right? And I like it when, like, he is sitting down at dinner by himself. It's late. He's got a paper. He's just been staring at the paper, not eating his dinner. And his wife's just like, take a break. Right? He's like, oh, but I got to cut this kid. Right?
I don't want to.
Like, you know, it's like these guys have all worked hard and all deserve to be on the team. But it's just the reality of the situation. You can only carry 20.
Yeah, because at this point, they're at 21.
Yep.
And they've cut 5 from the 26. They're down to 21. So he's got 1 more to cut.
Right. And while they're talking about this, then the news comes on and, like, it's breaking news, and it's the whole hostage crisis in Tehran. Right. You know, it just kind of fuels, like, why this game is really important, even more.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And we do find out later that, of course, the Soviets will play at
they do?
Lake Placid.
I was worried for a minute. Okay. I thought the miracle was that they didn't show up.
Like, oh, thank God. Right? And then it cuts from there, and it's Christmas. So you can see, like, less than 2 months of the games.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And they're having a fun time. There's big parties at Doc's house.
Yeah, it's the Doc's house. You know, all the guys on the team, they're partying. They're in the living room, and you got music playing, and they're are they giving each other presents?
Yeah, we missed most of them until we get to the last 2.
Yeah, so there's 2 presents left. One is for each of the coaches. You know, one for Herb, one for
each of the
Patrick.
coaches. Right? And for Patrick, it's this yellow and green plastic giant whistle.
Yeah.
And they just say again, he just blows it. Again. And he just keeps blowing it, right?
Until Herb takes it away from him.
That's so mean.
And Herb, and they give him a bullwhip.
They give Herb his coach. They give him a whip.
They give him a bullwhip.
And he laughs at that.
He laughs.
Yeah, he laughs about it. So, he's got a sense of humor, right? So,
I think he's just the gift that keeps on giving.
He leaves early to go home.
Well, right? before that, one of my favorite gifts that they do show right before the coaches, one of the guys on the team, his last name is Silk, and they call him Silky. So his gift. They got him a pair of lady silk underwear.
That's right. I forgot about that. Yes.
I think you wore him to the game against the Soviets.
Sounds like it.
You know what? I should have asked Rob McClanahan about that. Could have gotten that inside info.
That's why they won.
That's why they won.
Because he was wearing those silk panties.
There we go. Anyway, so Herb leaves. He's going to go home. He's trying to be at Christmas with his family. He's got a son and a daughter, right? And, he's missed most of it. They left the star for him to put on top. Right? And he smiles at this. And then
they left him a nice little note.
The rest, it's a nice little note.
They left him a lovely
He looks
note.
at it, he strokes it, and he smiles.
It was a, "Dear Daddy, I wish you could be here for our decorating of the Christmas tree. But unfortunately, you are not able to be here. Mommy explained why, that you are at a Christmas celebration with your team. But, and I understand that, even though I am only 7 years old.
Hey.
But Daddy, we got all of these decorations on the tree all by ourselves, but out of respect for you, we have left the star for you to place on top of the tree. Love, your family."
What you all don't know is that Rob has another job where he works for a late night call center.
Interesting. That makes sense.
Sure.
He's a college kid. He's not getting paid for this. And what I think is interesting about this, they go out in the snow and the ice to play football. I'm thinking this could be potentially really dangerous for one of them.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna
as soon as Herb leaves, they all go out to play football outside, and
or break an ankle.
They're playing tackle football with no pads.
There's no pads
out in the snow and ice.
They're kids, let them have fun.
Granted, hockey is a contact sport.
Still.
You know,
what do you want them to do? Wrap them in bubbles? Let them have some fun.
No, but
relax for a little bit.
They don't want them to get hurt right before the Olympics.
That's right.
Yeah, shit happens.
Anyway, so it continues on, and now they're at practice, and Herb has invited one of his players from the University of Minnesota to play, right? And this really is a mind game. He's like, this is one of his top players. Right, he's a great skater, great stick handling, big dude, right? And they're all getting concerned about what's going to happen. And someone's like, "Oh, it's just a mind game," but then OC just says "No, he was the last cut on the 60 team. He will do anything to win a gold medal." Right, and Ruzi is the one that feels like he's the last person that's going to get cut. He's really concerned about this. Right, but then they have a little small meeting. Right, that Herb is on the bus. Patrick says "Yeah, a couple of guys want to talk to you." Right, she gets off. She's like, "This better be quick." And they talk about how it's not fair. It's "Oh, why not? He's talented. I think he'd do just as well as any one of us." Right. It finally gets down. It's "Well, you know what? We're a family." Right? And ultimately, that's really what he wants them to say. It's that they're a family. That you can't separate the family that's developed in the bond.
Yeah.
Right? And so he tells them, "All right, well, I'll tell him he's not going to make the team. Thank you, gentlemen."
Oh, yeah. Which was a great mind game to play. Really gets in the players' heads with that.
Yes. And again, he has a reason for everything he does, Doc said. Right? And then we get a shot into the game. They win that game. Right? And at the end of the game, you need to finally cut the last guy.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so Patrick comes in. He goes, it was Cox, right? He's "Oh yeah, coach wants to see you." And he walks off, and everyone knows this is the death sentence.
And so he walks in there, and Herb doesn't sugarcoat it.
This is painful.
He just cuts to the chase. He doesn't try to delay anything. Yep. He's just
you're still a hell of a hockey player.
Yeah, you're still a hell of a hockey player.
This doesn't change it.
You know that we can only have 20 people on the team. So one person has to go. And you're still a hell of a hockey player. You are great on that ice, but you didn't make the cut.
Yep. And he's just like, thank you for the opportunity, coach. And he leaves. Right. And then we get the official news that Brezhnev has told Carter they're coming. And they have, then they asked him, have you finalized your roster? He's like, yes, I have. It's like, okay, well, you're playing the Soviets 3 days before the games. And then exhibition
games.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And it's at Madison Square Garden in New York. Right. And, and we get the national anthem. And everyone's out on the ice. Right. And the Soviets quickly get the upper hand.
Oh, yeah.
This ends up being a big mismatch.
Yeah, it's a massacre.
It is. Like, what, 10-4 or something like that?
Something like
10
that.
10-1.
10-1. All right.
Yeah.
Yep. And what's also important, what happens, though, is that O.C. ends up getting injured.
Yeah, he strains his ACL.
Right. And Doc's like, okay, well, guys, I can miss the early games, but you need to be ready for the medal round. It's like, yeah, but then you're going to be skating a man short if you're doing that. Right. And he goes up to OC. He's like, in the locker, after, he's all dressed after the game. He's like, and he thinks that he's just going to get cut. Right. It's like, because of the injury. Right. They call the next man up.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, but no, I'm deciding to keep you. Like, we down, but I can deal with it. Like, I need you for the medal round. And of course, OC is ecstatic to hear this, right? He doesn't want to miss out on the games like Herb missed out, right? And so they lose, and now we cut to Lake Placid in the first game, right? We're playing Sweden.
We're playing Sweden.
Right? And this game is back and forth. It's tight. They're playing a much better game. And Sweden has a really good team, too.
Yes, and their goalie,
is an important game for them to win.
Their goalie is the Swedish chef. Right. So he's back there. He's like, Gerdy. And he's like making food and like throwing it at them while they're skating by.
We missed the scene at the end of the Soviet game, too, where he rips into Craig. It's like, maybe I should give Janny a shot. It's like, why? Because then take the stupid test. Like, no, because I want the guy I want to take the test. Right? Again, he's playing some mind game on him that Craig doesn't fully understand.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, back to Sweden and the Swedish chef.
They should have had the Swedish chef for the goalie.
They should have.
I mean, it's only based on a true story.
That's right. You could take some creative liberties like that.
Yeah. Put a Muppet on the ice. I mean, come on.
So basically, go ahead.
Go on. Sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say basically with the Sweden game, they were down 2-1 at the time, and you couldn't lose another skater. And this is when they're down 2-1. Going in like the second or third period, and Robbie McClanahan gets hurt. He gets a bruise on his leg.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
So so during the intermission, they come back. They're going back in the locker room, and Herb asks Doc, what's going on? He's like, oh, it's a bruise, and he's like, yes, and can he play on it?
Yeah, he's like, if he plays on it, will it make it worse? He's like, no, it'll be painful, but it won't make it any worse.
He's like, okay then. And then he looks at Callahan. Not Callahan, McClanahan. It's like, you need to get ready to get back on the ice. He's like, but Doc said, right? He's like, he doesn't want to hear about this. He's like, oh, no, but like your leg is far away from your heart, right? And he's like, again, he's trying to just prod them into things, right? And he gets in Herb's face about this. He's like, you want me to play? I'll play, right? And like he's fired up now, and that's exactly what Herb wanted. He wants them to get all fired up. And then last period, they just played much more inspired hockey.
And they pull off the win.
A tie.
Oh, it was a tie.
They pull off a tie.
Yeah, they tied.
They have a tie. Right. And they don't have, at this point, they weren't doing any overtime or shootouts, right? If it ended in the tie, it tied.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to the famous Olympic music and the logo for the Lake Placid Games, right? And it's talking about the U.S. had an inspired effort to tie Sweden from behind, all these things. Like that's a big win that they needed. They couldn't have lost, right? And they kind of talk about some of the other games that they've had where they just beat down the other teams. It's not even close.
Yeah, they crushed Czech Republic,
which was a very good team.
Yeah,
right. And it kind of goes back and forth and all this, and they're doing well, right? They're having a good. They have a good chance to go to the medal round, right? And he's walking down the street. He's talking to the guy, and Mr. Eyebrows walks by. They nod at each other. Like, and it's like, oh, I got to do this press conference. Like, yeah, they want to talk to you. It's like, okay, right? And he doesn't really give any answers. And they want to also talk to the players.
Yeah, they want
to he refuses to let them talk to the players.
He refuses to let them talk to the players because he wants them to focus on the game.
Yep. One player is not more important than the others. Focus on the game. Don't get a big head.
I love this throughout all the interviews that he ends up going to. They keep on. The same people keep asking questions, and then all of a sudden they just start asking, "Are you just doing this so that you can take all the glory for yourself?"
He just kind of smirks.
And then
how do you respond to that?
The next interview, he refuses to go, and he sends Patrick.
And he has no idea how to answer. Like, Herb is preparing for the game tomorrow. In reality, he's actually watching his kids skate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is where you get one of the glorious hats. Between him and Patricia Clarkson here. Because, it's February in the upper New York. And, it gets cold. They just watch the kids skate. They have some hot chocolate, and they talk. It's like, this game means a lot to a lot of people. Right? It's like, yeah. It's like, and she says, like, yeah, I got a telegram from a lady in Texas today. You know what it said? Beat those commie bastards. Right? Like, we're playing against the greatest team in the world. Maybe the best it's ever played. Why can't we just leave it at that? Why do you have to put all this extra weight on it? Like, it's just about the kids, the boys playing their best. And if they lose 4-3, so be it. And it's like, yeah, they're just more, the more talented. We don't match up with them, Patty. And she looks like, before the game tomorrow, maybe don't tell them that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe say something a little more inspiring.
Maybe sprinkle them with some rainbows and unicorn farts.
Right? And all these things, it's ultimately that, no, they need to know that they didn't leave anything on the table. So it cuts to the next day. He's in the office. He thanks Patrick and Doc. And the guys are outside the locker room, the whole committee. Like, can we talk to the boys? He's like, no. Like, we need to focus on the game. Sorry. It's like, Herb doesn't want distractions. It's like, oh, he's want to wish him luck. It's like, no, don't distract them.
Yep.
After the game.
Right? And so he finalizes the lineup for the roster for the game. Right? And then he gets into his pregame speech. Right? And he's like, great moments are born from great opportunity. And that's what you have tonight, boys. That's what you've earned here tonight. One game. If we play them 10 times, we might only win one. But not this game. Right? We can win this game. We may not win 10 of them, right? But we can win this game. Like tonight, we skate with them. We stay with them, and we shut them down because we can. They're the greatest hockey team in the world, but you were born to be hockey players, every one of you. You were meant to be here tonight. This is your time. Their time is done. It's over. I'm sick and tired of hearing about how the Soviets have a great hockey team. Screw them. Yes. He's getting fiery now.
Yeah.
Fiery, right? Fiery. This is your time. Now go out there and take it. Right? And then we get this nice shot of them going down, out of the locker room, going down to go to the ice. And there's all these telegrams on the wall. people wishing them luck, and they all just keep, they pound them with their gloves.
They're hitting it. Everybody, hitting them for good luck.
Right, and they get out there, right, and they have the pregame skate, and again, like you can tell, they're not as nearly intimidated as they were, like a week ago, 2 weeks ago, whatever, however long ago it was.
Yeah,
that they played them in New York.
Yeah, I mean, they got their asses handed to them.
Yes, and they talk about it's the capacity crowd, what the top resale ticket is, and all this, right? And you got Al Patrick and Ken Dryden. They're the ones that called the actual game. And we get their actual commentary, which I think is a nice little nod.
Yeah, me too.
Right, and I like how Michael's like, a lot of people tuning in probably don't know the difference between a blue line and a clothesline, but they're tuning in. Right, it's irrelevant. It doesn't matter. They want to see the U.S. beat the Soviets. But in the end, it's still just a hockey game, as Herb kind of says. Right, it's a sheet of ice in Lake Placid, New York. And so they get ready. They come to the face-off. Right? And the Soviets win the face-off. And right now, they're more physical. They kind of get the early upper hand in the game. Right? And they're also talking about Craig, the U.S. goalie, like his mom died recently. It was her dream for him to play on this team, to play in these games, right? Talking about the general inspirational stuff. Right? And now we just get a bunch of hockey action of shots going back and forth. Right? And Herb's yelling at them, like, keep the puck out of the middle, and this and that. And then finally, the Soviets get the first goal. In the first period, they get the first goal. They're up 1-0. Right? And they're going away. And again, the Soviets are having they're being more physical. They're just getting them on the boards. They're beating them there. Right? They're faster. Right? And they're just more fluid. Right? And they get a second goal. Now it's down 2-0.
Yeah.
Or is it 1-1, then 2-1?
There's 1-1, then 2-1.
That's right. The U.S. is able to get the goal. Right, and it's 2-1, and then I like this. Like, this is the final seconds of regulation of the first period, right? Which is, if you're not familiar, it's 20-minute periods for hockey, right? And Herb sees an opportunity that the Soviets are kind of slowing it down just a little bit because there's not a lot of time left, and so there's a quick change, and he sends one of his guys out there to catch the puck in the middle of the ice, right? And then he takes a shot with less than 10 seconds left, right? And he gets stopped. But one of the teammates is able to pick up the rebound and put it in right before the buzzer scores. And it's now a 2-2 game. And the crowd goes wild, right? It's the end of the first period, and the U.S. is actually tied with the Soviets. Yeah. Wow. No one saw that coming. Right? And so the second period is, it's right. So they get out of the second period, and the Soviets are switching goaltenders, right?
Yeah.
They took out Cherniak.
And Herb's like, you see that, guys? You guys just took out the best goalie on the planet. Right? And so the second period starts. And we don't get as much action on this one. We do get a scene where they collide with Craig, and then they're able to get a goal after that. So the Soviets go up 3-2 going into the third period.
Well, they don't just collide with Craig. They just about knock Craig out.
They do, yes. Yeah, he's dazed. He has to get up. They're wondering if he has to, leave. He hasn't missed a minute in, months of game time.
Yeah, and so
Janny has not had any of it.
So Herb is, he's considering pulling Craig out and putting Janny in. And Janny hasn't played an actual game in 7 months.
Right.
In the 7 months that they've been training. And
yep. But Craig is able to get up and shows that he can play. Right?
Mm-hmm. And his dad is ecstatic.
His dad's ecstatic. His dad's concerned, and his dad's ecstatic.
Yeah. Once he sees him stand up, then his dad gets up, he starts clapping. So, right in the second period, it's going to the third.
Right, the last period, they're down by 1. 20 minutes left. And now you can see it in their eyes, like you can see it this time, like they know they can take them. Like they know they can come back and beat them. Right? And the U.S. wins the face-off to start the third period. Right? And you can tell at this time they are much more aggressive. They're keeping up with the Soviets.
Yeah.
Right? They're not backing down. Right? And they're getting good hits. Right? And Craig is making plenty of nice saves. Right? They're trying to take those of their own opportunities to score, but they're getting stopped, and that's fine. Right? Until we get into about the middle of the period. Well, not even middle, about 5 minutes into the period. Right? They're able to get a goal to tie the game. It's 3-3. Tim, who had that goal? The tie it.
I believe it was Mark Johnson, I want to say.
Yes, it was Johnson. Yes. Yes, thank you. Right? They had to celebrate. I love how they all get off the bench and celebrate.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
With these goals. So, all right. So Johnson scores. It's 3-3 now. And again, the intensity continues, and they are keeping up. They're not backing down.
Even after getting dazed, Craig is sitting there. He's just blocking shot after shot.
Yep, left, right, whatever. He is just in the zone. He's having the game of his life right now.
He'll worry about that concussion in a couple days. He'll be all right.
That's right. Gold medal will be, cure that.
Yeah.
So, this game was not for the gold medal, but we'll get to that later. But yeah, then we get about halfway through the third, right? And we've seen Ruzioni be like the captain or the leader of this team, but you haven't seen him really much on the ice in terms of his skill, right? And they referenced it earlier, he's one of the least talented players there, but he's got a lot of heart, right? And he's able to get in.
He's the Rudy of the team.
Yeah. The puck comes out to him, right? And he gets a slap shot and he scores. And it's a shot that could have been stopped.
Yeah.
But he beat the goalie on it. The goalie wasn't expecting it, right? He got to him quickly, and then you kind of get a famous shot of his celebration of this, right? They recreate that. And again, everyone comes off the bench to celebrate because the impossible might be happening.
Yeah.
4-3.
Now all they have to do is keep the Soviets from scoring.
Yes. Which is not easy.
No, it's not easy. But they don't have to worry about trying to score. I mean, yes, if they want to extend their lead. But their main goal is to keep the Soviets from scoring at this point.
It's just to get on their bodies, get the puck away from them. And I love the editing of this last 10 minutes because it's frantic, right? And it's hard to even sometimes keep up with it. They really put you in the middle of the ice with what's happening, right? And there's they're getting shots off. Soviets are getting shots off. There's saves, right? We neglected that one of the goals from the first period was a power play goal, by the way. We don't really get a lot on the penalties in the movie, but for that one we do. And the intensity just kind of continues to ramp up, right? We get to about 5 minutes, right? And Brooks is like, okay, we are doing 45-second shifts from now on, right? I want them to be out there as fresh as possible, and I want them to tire. We're just going to keep doing quick shift changes, right? And they're still keeping up. And Dryden even says it on this, I don't think I've ever seen a team outskate the Soviets this late in the game. Right? And they're showing it. They're outskating them. They're getting the puck away from them. Right? They're keeping the pressure on. And it keeps going. And now they really start looking at the scoreboard, right? You get a shot with one of the players. He looks up, there's 1 minute left in the game. 1 minute left in the game. In the third period. So, anyway. Yeah, and now it really gets more and more intense as they're cutting back and forth. Until finally it gets to the last 10 seconds that switches over to the actual audio call of the play, right? And I like, you almost, they give you more of a sense of the actual game happening, right? And then, it gets, and I forgot another part of this, right? You can tell, Brooks sees at some point when they get about under 10 minutes left in the game, and they're winning. It's 5 minutes left. He's like, oh yeah, like he has no idea what to do. He has no experience of what it's like to be losing a game in the third period by 1 goal.
Yeah.
Like, so he's like, yeah, he's the panic. They have no clue what to do. And then like he doesn't, and then there's an important point here where like he's not pulling the goalie, right? They're not trying to get the extra skater,
Yeah, he doesn't know what he's doing.
So like, yeah, because it's a completely different situation for them. They just dominate everybody. They have no idea what it's like to be losing.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
and yeah, it gets down to that last 10 seconds, and
his eyebrows are starting to get like a sad shape.
Yeah. And I love how they kept the actual audio in. I think I remember an interview with Al Michaels when they did moving everything, and him saying that there was no way to recreate that
there's no
line.
way.
And so it was best just to clean it up a little bit, but keep that
clean up the audio the best you can.
Yeah.
It's 20-year-old audio. But yeah, it gets that last thing, and he just says the iconic line, do you believe in miracles? Yes. And they win. The Soviets get all sad. And the Americans are happy. They're celebrating. And they're pouring out on the ice, and everybody's cheering because there's no Soviet fans in the crowd, right? And they're all hugging each other. They're carrying the American flag, and they're celebrating, And Craig kind of does a little celebration with Herb, and like he has this one shot where he just kind of pumps both of his fists. And you hear Michael's like, "Oh, I love his celebration," and right. But then
I love this part. So Herb, he goes off. He sort of goes past Patrick, and he looks up. He sees his wife and daughter in the stands, and sort of
they smiles
at him, and then he just goes off by himself.
Yes, I love it. He just goes off by himself.
Yeah,
as his own personal celebration. Right? He wants them to experience their own victory. But he has his own, he has his own victory also. So he's going to be by himself and then just savor it.
Yes.
Crouches down on his knees.
Yeah.
And and I just love because his whole wardrobe is just straight out of 1979, 1980.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did a great job matching the wardrobe. And they won. Right? They did the impossible. They beat the Soviets.
Yep.
According to Herb's plan, Herb was right. They could keep up and beat them at their own game.
And they did. They beat the Soviets. But they have not yet won the gold.
Because
there's still one more game.
They go to the second round of the medal round. They play Finland.
And they beat Finland.
They come back again.
That was the gold medal game. Yep.
To win the gold. And then Herb's doing a voiceover is I think the proudest moment though was the medal ceremony, right? These 20 guys that came together from different backgrounds in the pursuit of the same goal. They made people that you could believe, even just for one night.
In the years after this, they took professional players and created dream teams and sent them to the Olympics. But this was when you would take just college players, put them together, and form a team.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that you take a look at most of the guys that are on that team. Some had more success in the NHL than others. Some played barely a few games. Right? There's not many that had a long career. There's a couple that had decent careers, but none went on to have near the level of success that they could enjoy that game.
Rob McClanahan, for example, played a couple years in the NHL after that, played with Buffalo, the Rangers, and he just retired recently from doing 40 years in finance.
All right. I'll tell you a lot of the guys got into finance.
And during just like any sort of a lot of true, based on true story movies and stuff, as going through the credits, it's showing the people and it shows what they did afterwards. Yeah. And most of these people on the
Dream
team
On playing.
Yeah. I thought that was a nice touch.
I liked it. Yes.
But yeah, most of them are in finance or in, something that isn't anywhere near hockey.
a few of them got into coaching, like, okay, yeah, coach of this, but then it's like a small college, right?
Yeah.
It's not one of the premier colleges in the country, right? It's like, oh, they're some director of this for this hockey team, but yeah, finance, teaching. One became a orthopedic, right? Yeah, and it's going through that. I think it's a nice way to see the guys, and then again, the touch of Aerosmith, I think, is really just ties it all together at the end.
And then they show some footage of the actual Herb Brooks.
Yep, he's all on the bench, and it tells us what happened to him. And so he died just a few months prior to the movie was released.
I believe it was in a car accident.
It was a car accident, yes. And so he's like, yeah, he said like he never saw the final film, but he lived it. Right. And it cuts it on him and the actual Brooks, and he's smiling on the bench. Right. And that's actually then when it kind of like cuts into like the Dream On music. Right. It's well done. So it all wraps up together nicely. You don't need much else extra to add on in the movie because they achieved their goal.
Yeah.
Like you don't need to see really anything beyond that.
Yeah. You don't need to see them play that final game to win the gold.
No,
because the whole point of it was the Miracle on Ice was against the Soviets.
That's right. It's called Miracle.
Yeah.
Not finish.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Finish the job.
But I will say I did get to see the gold medal. Rob did FaceTime me after we did the interview, and he went and grabbed his gold medal, and
nice.
I got to see it. It was pretty cool.
That's cool.
But he will not. He won't be able to mail it to me to wear this year.
Oh,
so. I'm sorry to hear that, Charles.
Is he going to hand deliver it?
Is he going to what?
Is he going to hand deliver it to you?
No, that would be even better. Eric, you know what? If we go to the gold medal game, you better come over and watch the game.
That's right.
I know you're going to be traveling, doing some skiing, being in Colorado, going here, going there.
Gold medal would be nice.
But come watch the gold medal game with me. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's Miracle. It's a really good adaptation, good movie, a good representation of the 1980 U.S. hockey team.
Yes, it is. Yeah, and I enjoyed this movie a lot more than I thought I would.
Yeah, like I get that. Like movies are based on true stories or semi biopics. Like you're not quite sure exactly how well it's going to play out because some just lean too heavily into sap and sentiment. But it's well done and like it's buoyed by a terrific performance by Kurt Russell.
Yeah, but. Yeah, I mean, earlier you said this was our first based on a true story. We didn't. It's not. We also did Rudy.
It's Rudy
before.
Yes, Rudy. Yeah. Well, yeah. I think we did one other. It was Rudy.
That was another one that I enjoyed a lot more than I thought I would.
Yes, me too. That was the first time I'd really seen that. So, both like solid movies. Yeah,
I mean, you can't go wrong with Kurt Russell.
No, can't go wrong with Snake.
So, anyway, that's Miracle.
That's Miracle.
And it was a Disney movie.
A Disney movie, yes. We did a few of them.
Yeah.
Not many.
So, Tim, any other tidbits from your interview with Rob?
With Rob McClanahan? No, I mean,
you want to share? I mean, if there's anything you don't want to share, then don't share it. But
yeah, that's right.
No. One of the things I did ask him was it easier for... Like, because he already played for Herb Brooks, was it easier for him to make the team?
Makes sense. Good.
Than anybody who didn't? And he goes, no, actually, it made it harder because he was judging them harder than the other players.
Yeah.
He expected more out of those players.
Are you going to just slack off, or are you going to do what I expect? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
All right.
Yeah.
That was fun. I enjoyed talking about that.
Yeah. So
me too. It was a lot of fun.
You got to come back.
Oh, of course, always.
So, do you have anything that before we go out at the end of this episode? Do you have anything you want to plug? Anything you have coming up? Anything like that you want people to know about?
really just a radio station. We have blogs now on WTHU.com. Just go under Cool Oldies Team and Timinator, and you can see all the blogs. You can see my interviews, my niece Maya's Monday jokes, and you can actually hear my interview with Rob McClanahan is up there, and a couple of interviews. Since you love the movies, my movie fans, you can listen to my interview with Arch Campbell from NBC4.
Nice. Okay.
Good stuff.
Well, as always, if you enjoy what you're hearing, then go ahead and check us out on Facebook and Instagram and Threads. We're Rob and Tony's Cinematic Adventure. The and is spelled out, A-N-D. It's not an ampersand like the name of the podcast. We're also on X or Twitter. That is R&T Cinematic. And then you can also check out our letterbox. So you can see some of our reviews that we've done on various movies. Some we've done on the podcast, some we haven't done, some we will do, some we won't do. That is Cine Adventure or Cine Adventure, C-I-N-E Adventure. And you can also send us an email, Rob and Tony's Cinematic Adventure at gmail.com. Let us know what you thought of Miracle. You know, did you love it? Did you hate it? Do you love hockey as much as Tim does? Which I don't think is possible.
Tall task.
Do you think we should have Tim on more episodes? I think we should.
Good question. Yes.
I think we should, because it's always great having you here, Tim.
It's a lot of fun.
Oh, I love doing it. It's fun.
But anyway, we want to hear from you. We want to hear from everybody. So yeah, once again, that's Rob and Tony's Cinematic Adventure at gmail.com. And then, just go to our social media, give us a like and a follow. Go to your favorite podcast app, wherever you're listening to us. Hit that subscribe button. Give us a good rating, a good review. That's how we move up in the rankings and the search and the recommendations, all that stuff. So that we can reach out and find more people that want to hear us talk about these movies.
Yes.
That haven't gotten sick of our voices yet. And, so we want to hear from you. We want to, and comment on our stuff. So we are getting close to Oscar season again.
That we are.
So, we did this one for the upcoming Winter Olympics. That was the whole reason we brought out Miracle, because we thought it was a great place to put it right before the Winter Olympics starts. And we also needed another movie to convince Tim to come on the podcast.
Well, right.
So we thought this would be the perfect one. And don't worry, we are planning on having him back at some point in the future. So if you have a problem with that, deal with it. But anyway, we are getting into Oscar season. We still have a few weeks before we actually start our Oscar series for this year.
Right.
Which, for that, we're going to be going through, throughout the 4 weeks leading up to the Oscars, we're going to be talking about the acting categories.
Yep, one from each.
Yes, so Best Actor, Best Actress, Best Supporting Actor, Best Supporting Actress, not necessarily in that order, but we are going to be pulling a movie from each of those categories. Like last year we did Best Picture winners. We're going to do winners from those categories this year. So leading up to that,
we decided that we should maybe honor those legendary actors or actresses that have not won an Oscar.
Yeah. So we're going to do a few of their movies before we get into our official Oscar series. So this next episode, we are going to be talking about a movie that has an excellent actor.
Excellent actor.
Legendary actor, yes. Who never won an Oscar.
He got an honorary Oscar, but never actually won for any role.
And that actor is Cary Grant. And the movie, what is that movie, Tony?
North by Northwest.
The Alfred Hitchcock classic.
Hitchcock classic, Cary Grant classic. So this one should be a fun one to do. We've not done a 1950s movie. We've not done a Hitchcock movie. We've not done a Cary Grant movie. So I'm looking forward to it.
Me too. This is one that I have only seen a couple of minutes of. So it'll be nice to see the whole movie. So, So anyway, we're going to be talking about North by Northwest next time. Once again, thank you very much, Tim, for joining us on this episode.
Yeah, it was my pleasure. It was fun.
And join us next time for North by Northwest.